On today's episode, I talk about generating leads on Facebook, why we live one way as humans, and market a completely different way. Spud me. Welcome everybody to DISRUPTu, episode 15. I'm your host, Ryan Thogmartin, and this is the funeral profession's most disruptive web show. Most of you aren't seeing the debauchery, which was the first 8 minutes of trying to record this show. You could go to Facebook and watch the live stream. Most of you that know me know that we do one take on this show. Well, today we broke that rule and we did 4 takes. I don't know.
Rome wasn't built in a day.
Rome wasn't built in a day. It was terrible. And so we're live streaming now, and people are actually watching the live stream in the background, which is really screwing things up. Can't hear. All right, so on today's episode, I'm going to talk about two really cool things. One, a Mother's Day contest we did that generated a massive amount of leads in a 14-day period. And so how you can use Facebook as a funeral home to generate leads. Because we've talked in the past before about Facebook not being a sales platform and a lead generation platform, but more of an engagement platform. So now we're going to show how engagement and having a high level of interaction with your community and your followers can lead to actionable leads that generate client families. And then we're also going to talk about why we market one way and live a completely different way as humans. I'll give you some prime examples. So first, we did a Mother's Day contest called Thanks Mom with a handful of our clients. And what we did through that contest was use a custom generated lead form on Facebook. We ran an ad campaign against it. What we did was the funeral home was going to have users submit stories about why their mother, alive or deceased, deserves to have flowers delivered to her on Mother's Day if she's living. If deceased, why she deserves to have flowers or a gift given in her honor. So we generated 367 leads for our clients that did the competition in a 14-day period. So one client I want to talk about specifically generated 86 leads in a 14-day period with a $100 Facebook ad budget. So not a lot of money. That equates to, if you're doing the math, $1.16 per lead. Now, all of the marketing people that we've talked with who are running lead generation campaigns through traditional media, direct mail, and other outlets, $1.16 per lead is completely unheard of. We were capturing name, email address, phone number, on these lead forms for not only the person nominating their mother, but also the mother. So these are going to be leads that are going to go top level of the funnel, not necessarily lower level, but now the funeral home can take the data. We're helping them compute the data, understand who filled out the forms. We're uploading them into Facebook, creating lookalike audiences, and running analytics on the people that engaged with the custom app and form that we created. So $1.16 for Facebook lead. That is predicated on the fact that we have high engagement. We ran this contest as a demo to show somebody, a funeral home that we don't work with, and didn't use a $100 Facebook ad budget, just ran the contest organic. It generated one lead in a 14-day period. Spending $100, having high engagement with a funeral home, generating 86 leads. So the engagement that you're having and the content you're creating leading up to running a campaign is going to really help determine the amount of success your campaign has, as well as your ad spend. Now, we probably could have put more money towards the competition and the contest in that campaign and ran with a higher Facebook ad budget. $100 was very reasonable for a 14-day period. Again, it generated 86 leads through that contest. So extremely, extremely valuable leads that come from that. Now it's up to the funeral home. We're helping them take those leads, put them in the email marketing campaign, put them into other marketing outlets that they have in a way that they can retarget and remarket to those users. We can also upload those users back into Facebook, create a list, and remarket to them because they've already engaged with the funeral home. So now we can in turn use upcoming events at the funeral home, different programs the funeral home offers, aftercare. We can see who nominated a mother that was deceased, and we can send out aftercare information to them as well. So a lot of different ways you can take the data that you capture in a campaign like this, but generating a lead for $1.16 is completely unheard of. So that's what you can do with Facebook. If you want more information on how to do this for your funeral home, please reach out to us. I'm actually going to put my email address right here. Josh, can you put it in this little box? Ryan@disruptmedia.co, or you can visit our website, disruptmedia.co, where you can sign up for a live demo and we can walk you through our process and what we do. You know, again, we're not selling social media services, even though we're a social media company. We're really helping you problem solve and find an issue with your business and how we can use social media to solve that problem. So achieving real business goals through social media. You've probably noticed by now that we did not do a spud. The couple different reasons. One, very poor planning on my part because we ran out of spuds. Two, we're really just winging it today, and we didn't plan for the potatoes. So there's no spud me happening today, but I'm going to roll right into our next topic, and this is something that I'm very passionate about. We live one way as humans, and we market a completely different way, and I'm going to pick on funeral directors 100% in this. So I get the opportunity to speak at a lot of different state conventions, a lot of national conventions, do webinars. One of the questions that I ask every single time is how many funeral directors in the audience, by show of hands, advertising Yellow Pages. Generally, at least 40% of the audience is raising their hand. I follow that up with, in the last 12 months, of those who have their hands raised, how many times have you gone to Yellow Pages or the phone book in general to find a phone number? I promise you, 99.9% of all hands drop. We're not using outlets that we continue to market in. And I talked about this a little bit last week about being romantic. We've gotten extremely romantic in the funeral profession about the things that used to work. Why? Because there's funeral homes that were very, very good at direct mail, very good at running newspaper ads, very good at television commercials and radio ads, and being able to do different traditional media things that worked. And those things did work. They don't work anymore. And we've gotten too romantic about that, and we're not giving enough attention to what really works now and where the consumer is migrated to. Think about this. How many of you DVR the majority of all television shows that you watch, except for live sports, because we watch sports live? Other than that, how many of you think about how you watch TV, DVR the majority of shows that you watch? I'm going to say that's a fair amount. The majority of you watching DVR everything. I know I do. I never watch a program live. So those that DVR everything, how many of you fast forward through every single commercial? Now think about that. So if you're running ads during these programs, if you're running ads on the Home and Garden channel at 8 p.m. at night, trying to hit the 45 to 65-year-old demographic that you want to target, and they're DVRing that program, they're fast forwarding through every single commercial, but yet you're paying thousands of dollars to reach them and measure that when you can't. So think about how you're marketing. I always say funeral directors at home are the cool mom and dad. You have Netflix, you use Amazon Prime, you buy product on eBay, you shop online, you download music, you do all the things normal consumers and normal people do. Yet when you step in the funeral home, it's like you could forget how you interact in the real world, and you become very against all of the marketing outlets that you utilize, and you go and revert to the old way of doing things. So you forget how you actually engage. At the end of the day, you're the consumer that you're trying to reach. We have determined that the 45 to 65-year-old, we know statistically that 75% of funeral arrangements are made by women. We know that our target audience for a funeral home is that 45 to 65-year-old female. That is the most engaged audience online, on Facebook, on social media, and we're neglecting it. So what I want you to get out of this episode is understanding that engagement on Facebook and having a solid social media strategy and plan can lead to very low cost leads that can show high ROI by acquiring a client family through that engagement. And stop marketing in ways that you don't digest. You live online, you live on Facebook as a normal consumer. The way people buy and sell product isn't any different. The way they research a car is the same way they research a funeral home. They're not going and finding newspaper ads to buy a car. They're going on to Google, they're going on to websites, they're polling friends, they're getting resources and recommendations from other people. They're reading reviews. They're doing the same thing when they're shopping for death care services. So stop marketing in ways that consumers don't digest and that you don't digest, and start embracing the platforms where you give your attention and consumers give all of their attention. Okay, it's time for our would you rather question. And we changed it. Would you rather always fail or never try? This is a tricky one. Please engage with us below. Comment. Look, I have done in the last 3 weeks 5 speaking engagements, talked to a lot of you about DISRUPTu, what we're doing. Got a lot of good accolades on what's happening. So make sure that if you found a single ounce of value out of any one of our episodes, comment below, let us know, and please subscribe. If you would like to know more about what we do with Disrupt Media, visit disruptmedia.co. Till next time, keep disrupting. All right, so we want to let you know that our 2-liter growler that was full of Skittles, the contest is ended to fly somebody to our office for guessing the correct amount. There were 1,973 Skittles in this 2-liter growler, provided by and sponsored by LeMasters Consulting, giving us this awesome growler used for this competition. Thank you. So nobody won, but our office door is always open. If you would like to come hang with us today for a day and do a social media jam session, we will arrange that with you and figure out a way to make that happen. So make sure you email me, ryan@disruptmedia.co. We'd love to have you and host you at our office. So contact me. But unfortunately, nobody won the free trip by guessing how many Skittles were in the growler. Keep watching DISRUPTu, as we'll have another contest in the near future with another awesome prize. Thanks. How's that?